Good afternoon. Welcome. Who has a question or a comment?
I would like you to talk to me about aging, because I have the thought that there are a lot of things about aging that are the same as illnesses. And that possibly just really are illegitimate too. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I just would like to know what to expect and how I should think about it.
Well, first of all, it's helpful to understand what the source of the concept of aging is. The source of the idea of aging is the idea that you were born, that you had a beginning a certain number of years ago in what you call this life experience. Growing, coming to full potential, reaching a peak, and then beginning to age are all the result of the idea that you began at birth or at conception. That your existence is a manifestation of a physical event called birth and a physical body. That is your identity, you see. To overcome aging, or to become free of the so-called effects of aging, which ultimately means to become free of death, is to become free of the belief in birth, the belief that you had a beginning, and the belief that your body had a beginning apart from the reality of God's creation in this thing that is called a physical universe, you see? As though your body is temporary for your enjoyment and suffering in this lifetime on this earth. Now, I've talked at some length about all of these things before, but it's absolutely essential for you to understand, all of you, that the idea of birth is a false interpretation of what I will call a point in your eternal existing. You were fully identified, meaning having that which identified you, a body, before you were born. From the moment God conceived of you, you have always had that which identifies you, which you call a body. Which means you have always been identified. And you have always existed. And there is no alternative to that for you, for any of you. you and that which identifies you are really one. They are really inseparable. You and that which identifies you are therefore, at this instant, eternal, whether you see it, yourself and your body, as growing, aging, potentially dying. Again, it must be very clear, and you must dare to let it be very clear in your mind that the ultimate of the reality of you is going on at this moment relative to you as you currently perceive yourself. It is not something to be achieved in the future. It's something to be allowed into your conscious awareness now, or at any moment that you decide to let it in. The ultimate of God is what is sitting right there. Why do you see the effects of age? First of all, because you think there was a beginning, and in the frame of reference you're in, which is a frame of reference of opposites, beginning means ending. They seem to be inseparable like heads and tails, top and bottom. It isn't true. It isn't what God is being right there, right now. Now, you get a lot of feedback from your world. Friends, parents, who seem to be inevitably going through an aging process, which really means a process of deterioration. You watch the commercials on the TV, and you watch the programs where your physicians are doing the best they can to explain this process of deterioration and try to ameliorate it through manipulation of one sort or another. And so you become further convinced that the most you can expect is to grow old gracefully, die gracefully. But die you must, because everyone has, except one or two or three or four. And of course, rather than that being the rule, you think that's the exception, and it doesn't apply to you. Why do you think I share with you the things I share with you, all of you? So that you might be inspired out of these mindsets that you treat as though they are facts, as though they are absolutes. To inspire you to look in the mirror and not wonder, what can I expect as I age? But rather, what more of the presence of what God is being right now, right here, is available to me to see? What more of the presence of God can I see in the reflection in the mirror? What more of the undeniable perfection of my being is available for me to experience? You see. Tell me, how many of you do look in the mirror to see if there's a new gray hair. Or a new fine line. And how many of you wish for a few fine lines or more so that you might get a little respect? If I told you what to expect in terms of aging, then you would be wise to get up and leave and never come back to hear another word I would have to say. When you look in the mirror, instead of being curious about how much older you're getting, I encourage you to say, I forgive myself for not seeing the ultimate of what God is being right here in what is reflected in the mirror. And because it's my birthright to be experiencing it, I desire to experience it, and I ask for help in seeing what is really there, what is really here. And then, just as when you are listening for guidance and you express a desire, then shut up and watch, be attentive for the inspiration that will change your perception. When your perception changes, because you've let yourself be infilled with the truer perception of what you are, everyone else will see your truer perception as well. Is it reasonable to expect wrinkles to go away? Is it reasonable to expect sagging muscles to stop sagging? Is it reasonable to expect what you would call regeneration? Absolutely, it is. And anything less means that you have simply succumbed to your beliefs about aging and the world's beliefs about aging. Slowly but surely, everyone kills themselves. Everyone slowly commits suicide by withdrawing their interest in life, by squelching new ideas, by squelching just a moment. Although I don't like this word, we're going to use it. By squelching new goals, because you say, I don't really have enough time to achieve those goals. And so you begin backing out of being alive. That means you begin to go against the grain, the very essence of your being, because you are resisting being. And when you resist and create a block to the flow of the energy of life that is the substance of your being, you begin to see the effects of it. When you attempt to squelch the power of the presence of God in you by saying, I can't do that. Maybe if I were younger, I would attempt it, but I'm not young and I can't do it. When you attempt to sit on the power of the presence of God, you're in a state of self-denial. You're in a state of lack of self-appreciation. And you know what you do? You use your body to defend yourself against the power of the presence of God that is what you are the presence of. And you hurt here or there or here or in your joints or somewhere else because you resist with your body. You resist everything with your body. It's the only thing you think you have that has enough presence to be a defense against whatever you feel a need to be defended against. So, you really need to become conscientious about this. You need to become conscientious about being open to the influx of the inspiration that regenerates. And let it in. You need to use the mute button on your TV. And you need to become devoted to the goal, the intent to see the presence of God in all of His, her glory right there where you are, more and more fully each day. And if you don't see it more and more fully each day, you persist so that you remain in alignment with God's will. God did not set up life as a process of life and death, life and death, life and death. But each one of you can squelch and commit suicide only to discover that you're not dead, and then again squelch and suicide only to find out that you're not dead, until it becomes really clear to you that doing anything other than making commitment to life and not squelching at all is your function. Now, when you finish your shower and you see the hair in the drain, don't say, "Oh, another hair gone." At least say, "Ah, room for another hair to grow." Or, here's an opportunity I have to see the glory of God manifested right here where I am. And that would be such a wonderful thing. That would truly be such a wonderful thing that I am going to unswervingly give my attention to that. It's got to become extremely clear to everyone that each one of you is aging yourself. Each one of you is or will be inclined to slowly put the brakes on, and it's the brakes you're putting on that are causing what you call aging. If you listen to Deepak Chopra and others who are experiencing more clarity, you will hear that your body is quite capable of regenerating itself indefinitely. Of course, then you will occasionally hear one of them say that there is a built-in mechanism that causes it to begin to deteriorate. But, you know what? Either God is all or God isn't all. Either life is the absolute or it's not. Now, I have said that it is in the intent of your body to identify the presence of your individuality perfectly. That is its God-given reason for existing. And your individuality is the presence of God. So your body's intent to identify you perfectly is your body's intent to identify the presence of God perfectly. This is supposed to be glorifying God, not just a temporary package that your soul is inhabiting for a short period of time. By my saying this, I'm trying to inspire all of you to be curious in a fearless way about experiencing the truth about your body and the truth about you. You're worth the attention that it will take. The devotion that it will take. And you will have help from those of us who are awake, who stand ready to support you in your greater embrace of the truth about you and the truth about that which identifies you. And so when you let the inspiration in, because you're not blocking it with saying no to life, and you're not blocking it because you're curious to see how much more of death has entered your experience, you will find that inspiration being magnified by those who stand ready to support your clearer experience of your physical perfection, of the perfection of that which identifies you. Now, I haven't spoken inspirationally just now. I've been speaking firmly so as to jolt you a little bit out of your fascination with the process of aging. As the saying goes, what you appreciate appreciates. That means that what you value grows. And you can always find out what you value by paying attention to what you're giving your attention to. Do you have a yes but?
No, I think this is wonderful. I mean, it's very exciting. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Take advantage of mirrors.
Okay.
Every time you look in a mirror, let it be a reminder that what you're looking in the mirror to see is the glory of God. I really mean it.
Okay.
And then I invite all of you to do this for your brothers and sisters as well. When you look at them, don't say, "Oh wow, she really doesn't look good today." She really ought to be at home in bed. Oh boy, something must have happened at home last night. Look at the way she's acting today, or he's acting. You see? Care enough about those in your experience, not to jump to limited conclusions about them, but rather to say, wait a minute. What's sitting right there? That one driving the car next to me on the freeway, that body, is the glory of God. Let every encounter with your brother and sister be a reminder that it's your function to be seeing the glory of God there. And if you're not, it's not because they're not presenting it, but because you're not choosing to see it. You would rather have your opinion and your definition, and you are the one who suffers, because your definition keeps you from remembering to see God there. Yes, it's going to keep you busy.
I think so. Thank you.
But you know what? You're already busy repeating and repeating and repeating other habits of attitude. What if you can't experience love until you extend it to your brother?